So I like to say that undergraduate research experience, and especially my time with Beckman at Ohio State, was really essential for my success in graduate school because it helped me to start adopting these very different skills from those that I developed in the classroom, and also learn,
If you just want to start off by introducing yourself, what you're currently doing, where you're currently at, everything like that.
All right. I'm Nicholas Jarjour. I'm a PhD, a postdoc at the University of Minnesota, where I'm a Damon Runyon Fellow. I was at Ohio State from 2009 through 2013, and I was a Beckman Scholar from 2010 to 2011. I'm an immunologist, where I'm working on T cells and immunity within tissues, both infection and cancer.
How was the mentorship opportunity that you received through the Beckman program? How did that kind of set a foundation for your scientific knowledge and your career kind of going forward?
So I did undergraduate research for about 3.5 years when I was at Ohio State. And basically, as soon as I joined my first lab with Dr. John Gunn, immediately submitted an application for the Beckman program, and they got Beckman funding, which started that summer. So very, very early on in my undergraduate research experience. And that was really a very formative time for me because I think that moving from the classroom to the lab is a bit of a culture shock because it's a totally different set of skills. You can be very good at classes and getting good grades, but when you're in the lab, you don't know what exactly you're going to discover. You can have a good idea, you can ask interesting questions, but you don't control the outcome. And you also have to learn to be adept with your hands, with these sort of manual skills, which are very different from in the class. So I struggle with that, to be honest. And it was really great to get this immersive research experience with Beckman that helped me to work through that and start to ask some really interesting questions. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how to do science and also about microbiology, and got some awesome opportunities to present my research both at Ohio State at a regional meeting, and then of course at the Beckman Symposium, which was an amazing experience. I still look back on that very fondly.
What is it about science that keeps you motivated and keeps you engaged in it?
The first one that probably gets most of us interested in it is the intellectual freedom, the opportunity to just explore, be the first to know something, to kind of chase down questions, and also just go through that process of learning and discovering. And the other thing that I don't think I appreciated for a long time, and I think is really important to emphasize, is that at its best, science and especially academia is really a community. And that's what was so tough about COVID, because we were all apart, and makes it super exciting to be back together again. I was just at a meeting last week, and it's so fun to just talk about science and meet people and try to find ways that you can help each other. That's something that I really appreciate, and I recognize now as a priority for me in my career, to try to help to integrate people, help people feel like they belong in science, because I think most of us spend a lot of time thinking we don't belong, even people who are brilliant, more brilliant than I could hope to be. So I think that's a really important aspect of how the system should work.
What kind of experiences do you think undergraduate research gives to students, and how do you think it is beneficial to students when they're just getting into the scientific community?
That time that I got in the lab was just huge. And the Beckman program, the exposure to my peers doing science, also the Beckman Young investigators at the symposium who are several years further down the path, that really helped me to work through, like, what does laboratory science look like? What would graduate school look like? And that both helped me to have confidence in the decision that I made to go to graduate school and do a PhD. But I also think it really helped me when times were hard in graduate school, and everyone faces challenges in graduate school. I went into it knowing what it was like, what I would have to overcome. And so when the hard times came, I didn't say, oh man, what a mistake I made. I should have done an MD. I knew like this is what I signed up for. I also know that I can get through it. So I like to say that undergraduate research experience, and especially my time with Beckman at Ohio State, was really essential for my success in graduate school, because it helped me to start adopting these very different skills from those that I developed in the classroom, and also learn, what does it take to succeed in graduate school and in research, because it is challenging, but it's also super rewarding.